You've been searching for the best way to generate passive income in your life and heard that real estate is a great way to do it. But you're tired of all the so-called gurus who are all talk and no substance. Get ready to celebrate because Kevin Bupp has spent 14 years successfully making it happen. This is the Real Estate Investing for Cash Flow podcast. Now, here's Kevin Bupp.
Hey guys, Kevin Bupp here, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Real Estate Investing for Cash Flow podcast. Our mission is to help you build and maintain massive amounts of cash flow through income-producing real estate investments. And our guest for this week's show is real estate investment expert, Vinney Chopra. Now, Vinney is a multifamily syndicator who has personally facilitated over 26 successful syndication deals with a personal real estate investment portfolio worth in excess of $220 million. In addition to his real estate investment endeavors, Vinney has been a professional fundraising consultant and motivational speaker for over 35 years and has given more than 10,000 speeches on topics ranging from fundraising, positive thinking, enthusiasm, goal setting, and balanced living, just to name a few. And so, guys, in today's show, my goal is to dive deep into Vinney's story. And we're going to find out how an immigrant with only $7 in his pocket when he stepped upon U.S. soil, how he's gone from basically nothing to, amassing an incredible wealth as a real estate investor and also positively impacting tens of thousands of lives with his teachings. Now, I'm excited to get onto the show with Vinney, but before we do, I have a few laundry list items I want to run through with you guys real quick. First and foremost, I've been mentioning now for the last couple of shows, and I should basically mention it every week, but I forget to sometimes. We're always in acquisition mode here at Sunrise Capital Investors. As you guys know, we're in the mobile home park space. We buy parks nationwide, and we're looking for more. We're always in acquisition mode. We never stop. So if you're out there on the hunt, whether you're looking for multifamily or shopping centers or self-storage or whatever it is that you're focused on, and you stumble across the mobile home park that seems like a good opportunity, please think of us. We're looking for 60 or 70 lots or larger in size. We buy nationwide. We've got parks today in 13 different states, and we're looking to expand into even more. So again, we're always looking for opportunities. We'd love to pay big fat finder's fees. And maybe it's a deal that you want to try to take down on your own, but you don't have the track record or the capital sources. We can also step in as a JV as well. So again, think of me. You can reach out to me through my website, kevinbupp.com, and just go to the contact me page and submit an inquiry, and I'll get back to you. Next up, we just opened up our second tranche in our mobile home park growth and income fund. And so if you're an accredited investor and you're interested in partnering with us on our acquisitions, and then please visit our secure investment portal by going over to invest.sunrisecapitalinvestors.com. Again, invest.sunrisecapitalinvestors.com. There you can access our PPM and our investment summary and learn a little bit more about what it is we do here at Sunrise Capital Investors. And lastly, guys, if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area, which is where we're located, that's where our company's based out of. We're actually over in Safety Harbor, which is a little downtown area, about a 20-minute jaunt from the Tampa International Airport. If you happen to be visiting for family or work, whatever it is, you got some free time, I love the opportunity to get together with you. I've met many of you over the years, probably hundreds of you now, whether it be for coffee or beer, sometimes dinner. I love meeting folks that share the same passion as I do for real estate investing. And so please look me up. Again, you can just reach me through my website, kevinbupp.com. Go to the contact me page and reach out. Let me know when you're coming to town. And now, for the man of the hour, I'd like to welcome our guest for today's show, Vinney Chopra. Vinney, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you so much. I'm just thrilled to be here. I hope I can bring some value to your audience. I know you have a wonderful show. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so excited to have you here. And, the one thing I didn't mention, your introduction, which I have to mention now because your smile is so infectious. And for those that are just listening to the audio version of this, we're doing a video recording as well. So I get to see Vinney on the other side and his big smile, which puts a smile on my face, right? And, it's one of those things that a smile is infectious. And Vinney's nickname is Vinney Smiles Chopra, which is very fitting for those folks that have not seen you in a video format or in person before. So again, Vinney, thank you for bringing you and your smile and your enthusiasm to the show here. Now, what I'd love to do, Vinney, is I felt like I did not do you justice with that introduction. I gave a very brief background, but not as much as the folks probably need to know about you. So maybe take a few minutes and tell our listeners a little more about yourself if you could.
I would love to, Kevin. Actually, I grew up in New Delhi, India. That's the capital of India. I was born in Motibag, small place, small town, and humble beginnings. We had six, siblings. So I have four sisters and two brothers, and we lived in actually two-bedroom apartment all our life.
Wow.
And we never had a refrigerator at all. We never had a television. We had a small radio. I still remember that. And then our living room will convert that into a bedroom. And it was, my dad was working for the government and so forth. So right from the get-go, I kind of, as a small child, I always wanted to be better. I wanted to excel in studies. And not only that, our education is very strong in India. So my dad would hold a school. Can you believe it? After dinner, every night, he will hold a school and all the children had to study what the teacher was going to teach next day. So we were actually a little bit ahead of the curve and so forth. Anyway, to say all that, and that kind of the foundation helped us to learn more, be better. Then, of course, the elementary, junior high, all that. Then in high school, right about high school, I decided I want to be, I used to break toys. I always used to really look into things. So I knew engineer, would be a good, for me to go engineering. I did mechanical engineering, by the way, with distinction. But then I had made a decision, I think in high school, 5 years later, I'll be coming to USA. So I always have been a goal setter, people tell me. I don't recall too much of my background that much in the young age, but my friends tell me that I used to write down goals and I used to write to, do better and things like that. So long story short, I became an engineer and worked for Larsen Toubro in Bombay. And just in 10 months or 9 months, I was just dissatisfied. I said, I'm not the kind of guy who want to just stay, behind the desk and so forth. So I wanted to do MBA. I wanted to become a manager. And then that's when I came to USA many, many, many years back with $7 in my pocket. My uncle, bless his heart, and my aunt, they sponsored me because I had to have a sponsor to come here. So I lived with them in the Bethesda area, right there, Rockville, Maryland, for 2.5 years with them. I really pay gratitude to both of them. And then, he paid for my tuition too, by the way, first semester, because $7 wouldn't give the tuition at George Washington University, a private school. But after that, I just felt like I need to do something. I need to earn money right away coming from India. And that's when I sold Bible books. One of my friends said, Vinney, what are you doing? I said, well, don't know. I just came from India and nobody could understand me. I still can't understand me now, but the thick accent, Indian accent. And then I was thin and my hair were all over around my ears and very thin. I was very thin. I gained weight now. But, the key thing was I said, okay, let me go and sell Bible books and encyclopedias. Here as an engineer trying to sell books door to door, walking right outside Atlanta, outside Aiken, South Carolina, all that. And I got hit by a car. I just felt like, to be better, you got to really have the drive that nothing can stop you, and just think that you will overcome every objection. Everything that God gives you, He gives you for a reason. I have always believed that. That's what happened then. I became from an engineer to a salesperson, by the way, because I was selling books and I was excelling. People couldn't understand me, but they let me in. Come on in.
You're a very trustworthy looking individual.
Oh, thank you. They said, come on in. And I sold a lot of books, a lot of encyclopedias in the summer months. And this is a beautiful company, very nice company in Tennessee. They take 3,000-4,000 students every summer from Stanford, from George Washington, from MIT, all over USA. You have to be a student to participate in this program, but they teach you the life skills. They really do. Attitude control, rejection, working hard. I used to work 80 hours a week. People work 40 hours, but they teach you how to work 6 days a week, 80 hours a week, get up in the morning and work till 9:30 at night, knocking on doors. Meeting the people that you met in the day, then you meet the husband, wife again to overcome objections in the evening when the husband comes or wife comes home. Anyway, so that really got me fired up. I said, holy cow, I enjoy selling more than my engineering. So after 5 years of studying engineering, I put it in a box. I literally did. I make those decisions. I just look at it. I never look back and see what I did was right or wrong. Mostly everything right. But then I'm willing to give that up to go to the new thing. And that I did. That was the best thing I ever did about 37 years back. Then I stayed with one company as a consultant, as a promotional consultant, district manager, stockholder, all that. And then I retired from them after 37 years. And my 1X became 67X. My stocks went way up. So I retired as a multimillionaire from the company. But we were buying real estate. We moved to California. We've been married 39 years. So from Ohio, we moved here. We were young, my wife and I. We were looking at buying a $99,000 home. And I still remember that. I said, oh my gosh, everybody around here talks about real estate. This is about 1980 now, right? So it's the company you keep. I think that's the other thing. Yeah. And they were trying to tell me, Vinney, we are renting, get a rental here, another rental. So we got involved in that. Then we kept on buying single family homes, Kevin, and your audience. And then we sold every single family home, by the way, in 2017, because I became a broker in 2004. So that's about 15 years back. I became broker, real estate broker. And I had to make a decision. What do I do with this license now? Should I stay in single family, flip, wholesale, or going to commercial in selling, leasing, in the office space, or, join a multifamily broker company or like that? I was brought to this new world of syndication. We had some money, but we didn't have too much money, by the way. But the world of syndication and multifamily caught me. Being an engineer, everything logical just gets in your mind, right? You start dreaming about it. You start thinking about it. You want to learn more and more. And that's what I did. So right at 2004, I was able to get my mentor's online course from eBay. Somebody was selling me. I knew, I couldn't believe it, for $300-400. And I just crushed it. I just listened to it again and again, audio course in CDs,
Was that David Lindahl? Because I think he was probably one of the people selling it back then. Yeah.
He's a great, great guy. And, he's doing very well right now and his whole teams. And I give a lot of credit to them to teach me the kind of skills that I've developed. And then coaching, personal coaching, we spent a lot of money, over $160,000. And that, when we didn't have money, by the way, but we felt like if we want to be good at it, let's just invest in us. And it has paid dividends like crazy to all my team members and the 5 companies that we have and so on.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, Vinney. It makes me smile just thinking about this track record of success that you've had. With your corporate company, and then ultimately transitioning into real estate. And I think it's where a lot of people start with the single family residential stuff. They start there, they start small, but at some point in time, hopefully their eyes get opened up to the world of syndication, because the power and the leverage that exists in this world is so much greater than that of just buying one rental property here, one rental property there with your own capital. The leverage of taking your expertise and partnering with multiple other investors to do bigger, better things is just, it's underestimated a lot, and it's a very powerful strategy. And so I want to talk to you about more specifically about what that transition and that training period looked like. I know you bought David Lindahl's program off of eBay, a used copy of it. You went through it. You learned everything you could, probably attended some live events, but how long did it take to truly buy that first property, to buy that first multifamily property? And what did that property look like? What was it? Was your first multifamily deal a syndication deal?
Actually, what happened was, I'm so glad you're asking, because many times and nowadays we feel like we can overcome everything and we can do overnight success. I just want the audience to know, please hang in there, even if you had success or not success, but you got to get a coach or a mentor and do get into it. If you really want something bad enough, you got to immerse into it. That's so special. So it took us almost 2 years, by the way. It took us going back to the boot camps and learning personal coaching, everything. Then it was right about 2007, I remember now, and 8, we were learning. And then the crash came. Oh my gosh, we had so much on our books and everything, money raised and everything. Then the big crash came, Kevin, lost everything. In the crash, in the sense, we never bought the property. My money went from a couple of million commitments down to about even 1 million, I remember. But we bought 14 units, which we didn't syndicate. It closed on Monday of September, I think is the month. And then we closed on 109 units on Friday. So we were working on 2 deals simultaneously for almost 9 months. A baby was born, right?
Yeah.
So it took us a lot of time. Persistence pays off. I definitely wanted to let your audience know it's a team sport. You cannot do it alone. You got to find some good, like-minded person, 1 or 2. I had problems. We got 6 people in the team. Just a new team, 6 people. Some are doing their job, some are not, some are listening. So that was a big fallacy. I would suggest to your audience to only get 1 sharp person along with you, and that's it. Then you can talk about it. You can have the same purpose and goal. Never get into a partnership, full partnership at all, right from the get-go. Never do it. I'm repenting myself. But anyway, the thing is you learn. But the thing is, you got to have your own company, your partner have their own company, and then you join together to buy this apartment building. So you are only in one apartment building together, but then you should be operating yourself, teaching each other and building each other so that, they could be good revenues, generation and everything, and the systems, all that together. But let's talk about, what happened in those times.
That was 2008, right? Is when you bought the first 2 properties.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So 11 years back. And after that, we just scaled up. I mean, it's the first investor from 0 investor to first investor, Kevin. I still remember sitting in the living room of this fine man. And he says, Vinney, how much do you have experience? I said 0. He says, oh, have you bought any multifamily? 0. Are you moving to Texas? You're telling me you are buying something there in Midland, Texas, Odessa, Texas. Are you going to move there? I said, no. So everything was no, Kevin. But I was genuine. And at the end of half an hour, I had 5 slides. I put together a 5-slide PowerPoint because it really made sense that instead of buying these 20, 30 homes, what we had, they were all over the place. Different management companies managing it, and the different, the monies are coming in. But I just didn't see the scalability, in that business. Mm-hmm. By having multifamily, having those 20 homes under 2 roofs or 3 roofs or whatever, I thought it will make sense. If 2 people leave me, 18 people are there to pay the mortgage, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing with 100 units and so on. Scalability, all the taxation effects, your audience probably knows a lot of them. Value add, forced appreciation. See, I could do that more in a multifamily by increasing the NOI, increasing the income and reducing the expenses as compared to single family home. My value of the single family home is based on the neighborhood. If the price of the single family home goes up in the neighborhood, mine might go up too. But in the multifamily, I can increase the value more than the next door apartment because of the different things I'll provide to the rent for the residents. and then we can increase the rents, the job market and all. So I learned a lot about emerging markets. See, that was the key to success in my case. Everybody's too. Because see, the thing is, you got to go after jobs, jobs, and jobs.
Mm-hmm. So give me the definition to you of what an emerging market is, just for the listeners, please.
Totally. Emerging market is a market of 50,000 or 100,000 population demographics where more businesses are coming, more, employment. So I try to tell everybody, if there is a Starbucks being open, that means that's a good place. If a Best Buy is being opened or a Walmart is being opened, or it's already opened and new, jobs are coming. The biggest thing is to look at the city data, the employment data, and also the businesses coming into that particular segment. Even look at Atlanta, for example, or look at Texas, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, all these big markets, Tampa, Orlando, where you are. The biggest thing we do is we look for all the economic data. Google is the best friend. Google search is the best of the best of the best. You just put the name of the city, economic report, and then you put PDF along with it. That's all you have to do, PDF. Or you put down the name of the city, state, and economic growth report, put PPT. I'm just giving some secrets, but that is the key. You will find all these links with these studies that have already been done. But then you look for the one which are in 2019, then 18. Don't go to the 13, 14, 12. Those are no good because they have already passed. So go to the nearest ones, and that's how we do it. We look through a lot of research things, and we put the Dropbox. My students also, we do this exercise over and over to find new economic data into a particular market, and we put them in Dropbox so that all the students get to see that. It will months and months of information. They get it instantaneously,
Yeah.
So it's that way, So the jobs, of course, availability, flying in and flying out. And then, how is the university there? How are the jobs? Usually 3 segments. I don't like to purchase in a town where it's only one biggest employer, I should say, have some diversity.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So that you've done quite well. You've, I think you had mentioned a total door count that you were up to at one point, about 3,500 doors. I know you've sold some properties along the way. And, the one thing that you brought up that was intriguing to me, and this is before we started the interview here today, was that you self-manage. I mean, you are vertical with your management infrastructure, which is not the norm based on the current size of your holdings. A lot of operators, most operators at that size, choose to outsource to either one or multiple third-party management companies. And so talk to me about the decision that you made. I mean, was that the decision from day one, or did you outsource it at one point and bring it back in? But just, I want to get an idea behind the mindset attached with the decision to go vertical with that management versus outsourcing it.
Surely, Kevin. What we did was we did go with a very big company out of Dallas, in the starting when we were buying in Odessa and Midland, all that for about a year. We went with them. Fine company. Loved the owner, loved the VPs, everything. The only drawback was that we were at that time looking at a software which was doing accrual and cash together. Accrual and cash at the same time. So we would not be able to really get the real deal as to how much cash flow we made that month. At the end of the month, they will save some more money for next month and next month. It just kind of worried us, and they were spending a lot more of our money without telling us. So when we look at the profit and loss statements, I think there are more, avenues now we could do, tweak it, and maybe a lot more. We didn't understand too much about managing the managers at that time,
right?
Because that's what is needed right now. But then we said, okay, we're going to start our own company. I reached out to my mentor, Dave Lindahl, again, got his right-hand person who was teaching all this management of the apartments to get her to start our company. So we paid good money, but that was the best money I ever spent. I'm telling you, because now we have 2 acquisition companies, 2 management companies, and my education company, right? So that way we have never looked back. Oh my gosh, we enjoy it so much because we are in touch with the residents. Residents are gold, investors are gold, our team members are gold, and our vendors are gold. That's our motto, of our management company, because we could make decisions just like this instantaneously about marketing, about collections, about delinquency, about the price sheets, about everything. So we have saved, I would say, millions of dollars of money by negotiating the contracts, by negotiating the vendors' preferred lists, by asking them to perform better, by firing the personnel quicker because the occupancy was going down, all those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which a big company, unless you own a large portfolio, then only they will give you credits, right? They will talk to you and so forth. So in the 2,000 range, 3,000, 5,000, I think, and there are several ways to do it. I teach my students now to look for the operator of management of the assets in their unit type. See, if they are only in the 50 to 100, they should look for a company that caters and excels in that, right? And if it's 150 or 300 like that. But I would say highly, 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 everybody to look for starting your own company, and you would see your margins will go up, your cash flow will go up, all that stuff,
Do you just manage your own properties, or do you actually take on outside clients as well?
Just our own. Our own.
Yeah.
I think in Texas, I found out we had to have a broker, real estate broker on our team to manage others. And then, there's not much money in managing others, to be truthful,
No, there's not. No.
So it's a lot more headache. But I think in our case, because we own them, we have affiliation,
Hey guys, Kevin Bupp here with Sunrise Capital Investors. As you are hopefully already well aware if you've been a listener for any period of time, my goal has always been to provide you with as much value as I possibly can through my 2 podcasts, Real Estate Investing for Cash Flow and the Mobile Home Park Investing Podcast. As our audience continues to grow, literally, we've been downloaded millions of times by folks in over 125 countries. I've had thousands of people reach out looking to get involved in our niche. And that's the phenomenal niche of mobile home park investing. For those that don't know, I've been a full-time real estate investor for nearly 20 years now, and I've personally invested in and have owned apartment complexes, various commercial properties, hundreds of single-family rentals, and I've interviewed some of the most successful investors in just about every other asset class, and I've arrived at this one very simple conclusion. Mobile home parks are hands down the best investment I've found to date. Why? They provide investors with the best risk-adjusted returns out of any other real estate sector that I've seen. Investing in real estate can get complicated, and I really want to simplify this process for you. If you're someone who wants to diversify away from the uncertainty of Wall Street and allocate a percentage of your real estate portfolio to mobile home parks, but maybe you don't have the time nor the inclination to personally locate good deals yourself, then our team will do it for you. At Sunrise Capital Investors, our team specializes in the acquisitions and management of undervalued and highly profitable mobile home parks. And we are now providing accredited investors with an opportunity to participate directly alongside our team in our up-and-coming deals. And let me say this, I believe that we are hands down the best in our space at sourcing highly profitable off-market deals. That's really what makes us unique in this niche and as investment managers. As stewards of your capital, we truly are aligned with our investors. We've structured our investment fund so that we as a company are incentivized in the same way the investor is, which is through the performance of the investment itself. In addition, we want to make sure that we not only make money for our investors, but that they understand how it's being made. That's why we provide our accredited partners with a private monthly podcast that walks them through the detailed updates on how their investment is performing. And we're very transparent, providing you with the good, the bad, and the ugly at times. And so if you'd like to learn more about the partnership opportunities with our team here at Sunrise, please go visit sunrisecapitalinvestors.com and click on the investors link to get signed up. It's absolutely free and you'll get placed on the priority list of when new opportunities come along. Also, feel free to call us at 833-CASH-FLOW without the O. Again, that's 833-CASH-FLOW without the O. And one of our investor relations team members will help you schedule an appointment to speak with one of our managing principals. If you have questions, go ahead and schedule a call and let's get on the phone and talk. And with that, guys, I like to leave with one last thought. From the time that I wake up in the morning till the time that I lay my head down the rest of the evening, my number one priority with everything I do, whether it be recording this podcast, working for our investors, helping each of you reach your investment goals, to providing a great experience to each of our residents who reside in our communities, is to add huge amounts of value to everyone that I come in contact with. Now, with that being said, I look forward to the opportunity of bringing value to you through Sunrise and through this podcast. Thank you for your time. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the show. I want to talk about the state of affairs today with regards to the competition, just the sheer competition in the marketplace today. And it doesn't matter if you're buying multifamily or you're buying mobile home parks. I'm sure you can attest to the fact that there's a lot more competition for any given deal today than there was maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago even. And the same exists in our space, and it surely does in all the other asset classes as well. And so my question for you regarding that would be, what would you say, maybe it's not a secret, but what advice would you give the listeners that you use yourself when you're in a competitive bidding environment where you've got a deal, even if it's off market and the broker's maybe giving you a shot at it, but he's also giving a couple other folks a crack at it? How do you get them to see you, in all the busyness of all the other potential buyers out there? How do you make yours the winning offer? Not just price alone, though, because obviously that doesn't even always win most of the time. Yeah. Sometimes, and a lot of times, the highest dollar amount wins. But assuming that's not the case, are there other ways to get your offer to stand out amongst the competition?
Totally, Kevin. Very good question. Very, very good question. I do want to say that, in my two companies, the first one, we did 14 syndications in that one. Then I started my new Monil, which is our kids' name, Monica and Neil combined. That's our name brand. Monil Villas is growing up in India. I always loved the word villa, Britisher influence. So all our communities, we change them to villas. And I decide on the names even before we purchase the property. So all the LLCs, all the paperwork, everything is done in the new corporation, new LLC's name. But you're right. See, what happens is, and in my new company, I did like 12 syndications, by the way, in just 2.5 years. Every second month, I was closing a new one. Money was coming in like crazy. So last year, I didn't purchase anything, just to let you know, because everybody was overpaying. I mean, I don't know why, but the expectations of the sellers were higher. And also the cap rate was compressed, as you all know, and so forth. Now in 2019, the expectations are still up there, but competition is going a little bit down, what I see in the marketplace. I am. And I'm looking at 5 properties right now, in different parts of the emerging markets. The key thing I would say is that, you don't want to underwrite. As a syndicator, we have a very high fiduciary responsibility, as everybody knows, to take care of the investors' assets, money. And if we overpaid or we crunched up some numbers, underwriting is a big tool. It can be bad, it can be good. By just switching one number, you could make the numbers look amazingly well, with the cap rate at exit, with, the interest rate not being able to get the right numbers when you close, all those things, deferred maintenance, cutting it down, smaller number, making some mistakes in the taxation part of it, all that stuff, right? Payroll is huge. Sometime, we look at, the seller says, we could run it at this, per unit, but how much it's going to take you to do it. So all those things come into play. The biggest thing I'd like to mention is that once we do conservative underwriting, and then you look for long-term loans. See, we don't know what fluctuations are coming. So getting a 10, 12, 15-year fixed loan is the right attitude right now. That will be to mitigate the risk. The other thing is, how do I differentiate myself? I've been pretty good and bad about it. Well, in Atlanta, I did 59 underwritings out of 92 deals I got from the brokers. And then I did best and final on 4. I lost them all. Number 2, number 2, number 2. But Vinney never gives up. That's the real deal. You never give up. Then I struck gold. See, once you stay in the course and you're talking to the brokers and building that relationship through talking to them 3 times a month, I tell them, every 10 days, you got to be sending email, text, or calling, or an article, or sending a gift to the brokers, because they are your life blood partners. Really, they are. Mm-hmm. They'll give it to you. The more you talk to them, they will give you the off market. I call it napkin listings in my new book. The thing is, these are not even the listings in their pocket at all. They're not even dried up. It's just that on the napkin, they're meeting with the seller in a restaurant or a coffee shop to say that, oh, you want to sell it. Okay. As soon as you know the address, that's all I need. I don't need nothing after that. I can go to apartments.com, get their current term rent roll. I can get all the pictures. I can get what concessions they're doing, how much they're doing. Everything is available. And I can generate the whole rent roll myself right away, like at 100% occupancy, of course. But then you try to find out by shopping the property, not to tell them, because nobody knows if they're going to sell or not. But you can send people to shop it as if they are living there, right? Or they want to get an apartment. And then they, look at the model unit and blah, blah, all that stuff, right? So the key thing is to be the best detective ever, to find the information before even the broker knows about it, see? So that's how I've been able to purchase all these properties. And in Atlanta also, I'm so happy to share with you, I bought this property in Atlanta 2 years back. Broker told me yesterday, Vinney, you have made $5 million. I paid $12 million for it, $12,100,000. He says, I can sell it for you today. You did just so well in this niche in the marketplace where everything is exploding in that area. Mm-hmm. It's 98% occupied, everything, So it's very good for my investors and me, 47% growth in equity in just 2 years, just the equity.
Yeah,
and
that's fantastic.
And we made $450,000 net just the last year alone. But let's just talk about also 2 more things. How do you differentiate yourself? You get a loan broker under your confidence. They need to write a terrific story for you. And then you present cover letter with your background and everything, of course, but with a approval letter from the loan broker, plus a statement from your attorney or other things, or some other recommendation letters. You got to put them in there, and the proof of funds from your account and other things like that. So, and giving them a good, reasonable offer to lock in the property, and then to be easier with the brokers so they will work with you if they feel that you are a performer. Yeah.
No, that's all great information, Vinney. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I want to ask you a 2-part question here. Part A is, generally speaking, what excites you about where we're at in the current real estate cycle? Like, what gets you jumping out of bed? I know you said you guys haven't bought any properties in 2008 because things were a little inflated. Cap rates were compressed, and kind of the same feeling today. So that's probably not all that exciting because we all want to buy deals, right? But so I'd love to hear what excites you. But then the part B of that question is what concerns you, or what scares you, or what keeps you up at night, if anything?
Nothing keeps me up at night, by the way. I want to say that because, see, a lot of people don't know me. I look young. I'm 66 right now. I have a vision board of next 25 years. My grandpa died at 94 or so. I feel like, you got to stimulate your mind every day. Yeah. You got to really bring, passion into whatever you do. So my biggest thing right now is to teach lots and lots of investors to do what I'm doing and surpass me. My books, my video courses, other things, changing their language to Indian language, Spanish language, and French, and, all that to be global. Also, with my new fund, which I've started, $50 million which will be, it's a 506c fund for accredited investors. The reason I decided on that was I was selling some assets. Being an engineer, my mind works like 6 months in advance. I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to do all these sales. So all my investors are going to get millions of dollars. They're going to park it again. So then I came up with the idea, let me do the fund. So I reached out to Kim Taylor, my syndication attorney from St. Augustine, amazing lady. And she says, Vinney, let's do the fund. So she put the PPM together, everything. I went to Beverly Hills and got the fund administrator on my payroll, as my team member who's going to audit the fund and everything. So I try to go to the very best, and it's all ready and people have already committed to give me money. So I thought, you know what, to get the commitments, Kevin, let me just ask them to give me 20% of their commitment, 20%. I'm not going to take 100 because I didn't have a property, right? It's a blind pool fund, with my track record and all. So I collected 20%. They filled out the paperwork. They go to verifyinvestor.com, get accredited, everything. Now, all I have to do is cash call. So as I get this property, 27 million, I think it is, all I have to raise is about 9 million. And I'm going to just tell my investors, hey, I got this much already, 20%. This is more I need. And then I did a tier, by the way. I would love to share that with you and others in your audience. We decided to do a tier investment. What that means is at 100,000, you get paid 6%. For example, I'm just taking an example. At 250,000 above, you get 7%, cash on cash. And then at
preferred cash on cash.
Preferred rate. Yeah. Not cash on cash, preferred rate. You're right. So 6, 7, 8. So a lot of my people, in my case, it was 7, 8, 9 or whatever. But a lot of my investors said, Vinney, we want to do $500,000 with you. Another one said $500,000. A lot of said 250. So it's good to do this tier. I would highly recommend, to the audience, because that way one family is coming with 700. Another family might come with $1 million now into my fund. So that's a good way to give them incentive.
Yeah, we've done the same thing in the past with our funds. Yeah, 8, 9, and 10 is the pref, and it was 1 to 100 to 249, and then 250 to 499 was the 9 pref, and then 500 and above was a 10 pref. So no, absolutely,
same
absolutely.
thing. Oh my gosh, Kevin, that's awesome. Same thing, bud.
That's and then awesome. Your minimum investment, have you said 100? Yep.
100. See, the thing is, that's something I would love to share with your audience too. Please graduate your investors sooner you can from 50 to 75 to 100 and then stay at 100 because people will try you. It's amazing. They have the money in their retirement. They have the money in their wallet. Don't let them give you 25,000. Ask them to give you 100. And then what has happened in my case from 0 investor to 130 investors now, their peer groups are also multi-millionaires. So more stories they share, my new, people also are very rich. So that has helped a lot. So please graduate to 100. You may lose few people in the interim, but you will gain scalability so quickly. I can raise 8 to 10, 9, 10 million in a day now. If I have a good
fantastic. So what is the risk with the blind pool fund? You're not calling the capital until you actually have a deal. So it's not necessarily accruing a pref, correct?
Okay, I am paying interest. That was something I taught my mentor also, by the way, about 8 years back. I collect 99% of my money, by the way. A lot of people tell me we have to raise 4 million. I need to raise 8 million commitments or whatever. In my case, I need 4 million. I raise maybe commitments of 4,200,000 because every single investor pays out. I put the urgency in them and say, hey, guess what? You got money sticking in your checking account right now, 100,000. How much are you making in it? 0.15%. I'll pay you 2%. I'll pay you 2% the day you wire the money up to the day of closing. And after the closing, the pref rate is going to start anyway. people bought it 7 years back, 8 years back. I've never looked back. I've never lost my sleep, ever, ever. I always have money in the LLC fund way before it's needed by the lender.
Well, what do that makes a lot of sense. And so with the fund structure, with this blind pool fund, are you raising all $50 million in?
No. I'm doing it in stages. So it's the paperwork is good for 2 years. So I can start it, I can stop it, start it, stop it. So that's what Kim Taylor shared with me. She said, Vinney, you could do whatever you want. I said, great, okay. So now we are able to get the commitments for 10 million. I'll deploy that. Then we'll take over the property and all that. Then I'm going to look for another asset. Then I will go out and raise another 10, same paperwork. So more people will be coming at different places. That's why Ken asked me if anybody needs any contact about a great fund administrator. I'd love to vouch for him. He's been a great guy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so then they collect 2% on their money while it's sitting there waiting to get deployed.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic, Vinney. And I want to enter in. I want to be respectful of your time, but I want to enter into what I like to call the golden nugget segment of our show. And this is where we'll work to wrap things up as well for the day. And I'd like to ask you if you could. You shared a ton of golden nuggets already, so hopefully you've kept a good one up your sleeve. If you had one final golden nugget of advice or wisdom that you could share with our listeners that may inspire and motivate them as they progress in their real estate investing career, what would that one last golden nugget be?
Kevin, I would definitely say, I know you are in a great field, mobile home parks, apartments where residents are living. It's a investor's nation, as you know, and US is becoming even more and more with the millennials, with the baby boomers retiring, with downsizing. So apartments are going to stay here big time. So please jump on that gun, first of all. Secondly, action. I really believe Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle book. Please take that book if you have not. The key thing is, what am I doing right this moment? Something that really changed my life are these mentors, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, all the really great Stephen Covey's, all of them. They have shaped my life and I respect them. The key thing is action. Action is the main thing. If we want to just write big goals and not look at the goals, then why to write them? And then give yourself feedback. And then just be excited about life. Because the thing is, if you're positive, energy is going to bring so much more to you. You will overcome so many objections and rejections. Who cares? I mean, all you have to please is yourself. So give yourself great feedback every day. Did you do your best or not? And don't worry about 30 seconds back or a minute back, because I cannot change it. Nobody can change it.
Yeah.
So just think about today, because today is going to shape the tomorrow.
No, that's awesome, Vinney. I love every bit of it. How do folks reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you and what you got going on? What's the best place to find you?
Sure, Kevin. My website is vinneychopra.com. That's V as in Victor, I-N-N-E-Y. There is an E in there, Chopra.com. Even if they put V-I-N-N-Y, I bought that too. Vinney Chopra. Or if you spell V-I-N-N-I-E, Chopra, I bought that too. So I like to look at different ways. The other way they could really reach me is if they want to learn about my tricks of the trade and my academies, just text the word LEARN, L-E-A-R-N, to 474747. So LEARN 474747. Or if you want to learn the tricks of syndication, how to really partner with me, be a GP partner, or if you have an asset, then you could text the word syndication to 474747.
All righty. Well, fantastic. Vinney, this has been so much fun. Thank you again for joining us here on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. I've been looking forward to this moment for many months now, and now it's here, and now it's gone.
Kevin, thank you. And what a great, tremendous service you provide with your podcast. I'm tickled. I followed you, your success. God bless you and give you the most, very most this life has to, give you. I would love to come back if you, would love to. And, it'll be my pleasure. Thank you.
I'd love to have you back. Thank you, Vinney. You take care.
Congratulations! Now you've got more of the best tricks of the trade in building massive amounts of passive income from real estate. For more amazing resources, visit realestateinvestingforcashflow.com. And we'll see you next Monday morning.